Here's my prediction for the next 12 months. I want to make this extremely clear. Do not make any financial moves based on what I'm saying. I'm not a financial advisor. This is just my speculation based on my personal research and my study of macro and microeconomics and Ray Dalio's Changing World Order and my banking experience. So I'm going to show you a video that was done yesterday. Some of the top leaders of the central banks of the largest countries in the world. And they're all talking about raising interest rates to cool inflation. We're going to listen to what Jerome Powell has to say about America, and I'm going to show you a video. You should get a pen and paper out and write notes and keywords about what he says. And then I'm going to show you a video in 1971 from President Nixon and the eerie familiarity to the videos. Family, I've been sharing with you since July 2022 and 2020 my predictions, which have come true. I told you the job markets are about to get crazy in Q3, Q4. You're about to see one of the biggest shifts in your economic system. The fact is, if you made $100,000 in 2020, rough math, with the cumulative inflation of 17% in 2023 without doing anything, you make $87,000 a year. You need to understand with financial education, when interest rates go up, it destroys the job markets. So they're going to do everything in their toolbox to bring us down to 2% inflation. That means interest rates are going to skyrocket. The wealthy people are going to benefit. The middle class are going to get moved down to the working poor. And you're going to wake up in a brand new monetary system. So we're going to watch video 1. We're going to watch video 2. And I'm going to break down some facts, figures, numbers, logic, and allow you to let your logical circuit to kick in. Get your pen and paper out.
It's way out for a while.
I mean, the economic conversation, it gets into an interesting question, Chair Powell, where now we're wondering, easier to fight inflation last year when the economy was doing better. But now that we're seeing signs of softness and weakness in manufacturing, and you mentioned the labor market starting to cool off, about overdoing it. And
I told you guys, she said, remember, they were saying our economy is strong. And I told you guys in Q1 this year, I said they're going to say that, but the job markets are going to start to soften as interest rates go up.
And the risk of overdoing it. Do you wonder about that, or you're still just focused on inflation?
Let me say the U.S. economy has actually been quite resilient, and the data that we're still seeing, including since the last meeting, still is consistent with with an economy that's resilient and growing, albeit at a modest pace.
Okay, so write those notes down. The economy is strong. Do you guys see a strong economy in front of you?
As I mentioned earlier, though, yes, there was no question. The first question was how fast should we go, and we went pretty fast, and we got to a level that we believe is restrictive. We're in restrictive territory. If you take the federal funds rate and you subtract, some forward-looking measure of expected inflation, you'll get a significantly positive real rate, meaning we're probably in restrictive territory. So, and I think we have steadily slowed the pace of our moves, and it's appropriate to do so for one reason, because the more information we get, the better decisions we'll make. The risks of doing too much versus doing too little become more in balance. I wouldn't say they're in balance yet, but they're becoming closer to balance. I still believe the committee clearly believes that there's more work to do, that there are more rate hikes that are likely to be appropriate, though.
Boom, there's more rate hikes likely to be appropriate. Our economy is strong, though. Don't worry. This was in August 1971. Listen to what Nixon says, and then I'll take my logical circuit and tie things together. This is just my logical circuit.
The third indispensable element in building the new prosperity is closely related to creating new jobs and halting inflation.
Familiar, new jobs and halting inflation.
We must protect the position of the American dollar as a pillar of monetary stability around the world. In the past 7 years, there's been an average of one international monetary crisis every year. Now, who gains from these crises? Not the working man, not the investor, not the real producers of wealth.
They just told you, not the working man, not the investor. They're hiding it in plain sight. Not the working man, not the investor.
The gainers are the international money speculators. Because they thrive on crises, they help to create them. In recent weeks, the speculators have been waging an all-out war on the American dollar.
The cryptocurrency market, the speculative market, is waging an all-out war on the American monetary system. Elizabeth Warren says that fentanyl is connected to crypto. Jamie Dimon tells you that cryptocurrency is a fraud. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink tells you that It's used for illegal money laundering. They're protecting you from the speculators. The Future Oversight Committee is stopping you, trying to regulate non-bank financial institutions, protecting you from the speculators.
The strength of a nation's currency is based on the strength of that nation's economy. And the American economy is by far the strongest in the world.
Jerome Powell, the economy's strong.
Accordingly, I have directed the Secretary of the Treasury to take the action necessary to defend the dollar against the speculators. I have directed Secretary Connally to suspend temporarily the convertibility of the dollar into gold or other reserve assets, except in amount.
That move right there is the price we're paying right now. 1971, as our parents watched the television, telling them a vision, programming information, and channeling information into them, they sat there, had no financial education, understood what just had happened. So basically, in 1971, they detached from the gold standard because America did not have enough money, enough gold to service the cash. Just like America doesn't have enough money to service the money you have in your bank account. They had bad monetary policies. America was broke, so they detached from the gold standard, allowed them to print money, and turned our money into fiat, which is fake money. So in 1974, they're like, oh shit, what did we do? There's nothing backing the currency. Eventually, this will implode. So they went to the Saudis in 1974, and they attached all US dollars to oil for protecting the Saudis with arms. So since 1974, we've had the petrodollar. And that made the dollar extremely, extremely powerful, and we were able to control the whole monetary system. In 1978, don't quote me on the date, around in between 1978 and 1974 and 1978, they created what was called the 401k, and here's my opinion. The 401k was saying, you know what? We're going to allow you to take your money and put part of your paycheck into the markets. We're going to stop doing this pension thing because we realize that the dollar is going to devalue. So we're no longer going to pay you for the rest of your life. We're going to give you the ability to put your money into the stock market, which after 1929, people called the stock market the casino, and we're going to tax the shit out of you if you take it out before retirement. And guess what? We're going to tax you when you retire as well. So the American dream died in 1971. So now we, as Americans, are now paying the price for these policies. So the eerie familiarity is in 2023, the banks have a liquidity crisis. They don't have enough money in America to service our debt. We had to suspend the debt ceiling to pay for critical services, and they're trying to protect us from the speculators, the cryptocurrency market. And at the exact same time, there's an all-out war on the US dollar. The BRICS countries are working feverishly to de-dollarize from the American dollar, and 20 countries are working to join the BRICS. History doesn't repeat itself, it often rhymes. And it's our fault. We accepted this. You can't live off your grandparents' and your parents' old industrial paradigm. As Rosie Rios said, you need a shock to the system to change consumer behaviors. And if you go watch that full video that I just showed you in the beginning, the first one, you'll see that one of the central bank leaders says you need a shock to the system, or there's a shock globally in the system, So here's what I'm doing. I'm in a speculative asset called cryptocurrency. It's not my retirement. There is no get rich quick. I have a very clear exit strategy as it goes parabolic in 2020. I'm exiting the market, 50% of my portfolio, and I'm putting into what the wealthy do to secure their wealth for generations. Insurance, specifically Index Universal Life, precious metals, more real estate, and more businesses targeted around information, technology, and attention. And if I need capital, I will continue to increase my Index Universal Life policies, and I'll tap into my own bank and use my own capital or leverage the insurance capital to repeat the process like Richest Man in Babylon. Everybody's teaching you how to get rich quick and make money online. The fact is only 6% of people in America have $1 million. So if there's that many people that are making money online, where are all the wealthy people at? If you're not rich right now, your family's not, you have to rewire the foundation or you'll end up in the same situation. Warriors, rise, get your shit together. Love you guys. I will never proactively DM you. Those are all scammers. We do not invest people's money. Do not send anybody money online. That is not me. Those are scammers. In my bio, we have an education academy called the Warrior Academy. We do everything under the protection of our academy. In there, you can meet with my team, my Index Universal Life team, to get a free consultation. We are licensed insurance agents, and we help people protect their wealth. But again, I will never proactively DM you. I will never ask you to send me money. Those are all scammers. Protect yourself. Spread this message. Use discernment. Love you guys.